Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a contour and highlighting routine. I'm going to show you two different ways to contour, how you can contour with cream products and how you can contour with powder products, and I'll show you the different types of tools you can use for each type. Depending just if you have oilier skin or drier skin, if you like to use cream products or powder, you get the gist. Before I get started, I just have to say how exposed I feel with this bun that I have going on. Today is not my normal filming day. It kind of got messed up with the snow because I normally have off on Wednesdays, which is when I film, but because we had off Tuesday at work, we went in Wednesday to make up for it, so I wasn't able to film. So it's Saturday and I haven't washed my hair since Tuesday, so we're working with this. Sorry about the flyaways, but I just feel really super exposed and really out of my element right now. But anyway, I'm just gonna get right into the video, so if you want to see how I highlight and contour, then keep on watching. Okay, because I'm going to be layering cream and contour products, I'm going to start off with cream. Now, you by no means need to do both. This is just so you could see what types of brushes and what products you could use to use. The product that I'm going to be cream contouring today is actually a cream bronzer, and this is by Sonia Kashuk. This is their Undetectable Cream Bronzer, and this is in the shade number 41, Warm Tan, and it just looks like this. You can get this at Target. I don't think they sell Sonia Kashuk anywhere else, but it's just a regular old cream bronzer, and it is a little bit on the muddy orange side, but this is just what I have. Now, I'm going to share a few different options that you can use to cream, highlight, and contour. I know that Maybelline Fit Me makes foundation sticks that are super easy to use. You could just buy a few shades lighter to highlight and a few shades darker to contour. I know that NYX also made some foundation sticks recently. I don't know if they're in stores yet. I haven't seen them personally, but those are definitely a cheaper alternative. And Smashbox also just came out with bronzing, highlighting, and contour sticks, and they look super creamy and super blendable. So if you want a little bit of a higher end option, you can definitely try that out. But like I said, today I'm going to be using the Sonia Kashuk bronzing cream, and the brush that I'm going to be using it with is a brush that I just recently shared in my January favorites, and it is the Sephora Pro Angled Contour Brush. This is the number 75, and it looks like this. It's synthetic, so you can use it with powder or cream. I'm going to be using it for both today, but you can use whatever brush that you feel comfortable with. You could also use an angled foundation brush. This is the F84 by Sigma. It's just an angled kabuki. It is a little bit wider, so I don't really like using it for contour, but depending on the shape of your face, this may work for you. This is just a little bit more slim and fits in the hollows of my cheeks a little bit better. I'm just going to dip my brush right into the product. And this brush pretty much does the work for you. I'm just going to be applying it to the hollows of my cheeks, and I'm just going to be placing it, kind of just tapping it in. And you don't want to bring it too far down just because you don't want to look like you have a beard. So I'm going to take it right to about here. So like I said, I'm just placing it in the hollows of my cheeks, and when you blend, you want to blend up, so you raise your cheekbone rather than bring it down and blend down. And once you tap it into place, you could just start, I like to swirl it up and blend. And this brush just provides a really sharp, crisp line. So you can already see the difference between this side and this side. This just looks a lot more defined than this side. This is kind of just still one-dimensional and not so chiseled. And I'm just going to do it the same with the other side. You can make whatever face you want when doing this. I just like to kind of push my mouth to the side and make somewhat of a fishy face. But whatever works for you. Before I go any further, I also just forgot to mention that I did do the highlighting underneath my eyes and above my cheekbones, but I already did show that in my current foundation routine, and to do that I used the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. This is just a shade or two lighter. It's in the shade 15 Fair, and it really just helps to brighten up my under eye area along with the cheekbones as well. So I'm going to finish up the highlighting steps with this Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. I know a lot of people also like to use the LA Girl concealers kind of in the squeeze tube with the brush. You can buy them on Morphe, LA Girl website. Lady Moss also sells that as well. So now I'm just going to take the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer and I'm just going to take it straight from the doe foot applicator and run it down the center of my nose. This will provide a little bit of a slimming effect if you think your nose is too wide. And then I'm also going to bring it on my forehead or in the center of my eyebrows, not too much on my forehead, and kind of just fan it out. I'm also going to apply a little bit on my chin and a little bit on my Cupid's bow. Now I'm going to blend this all in with my angled kabuki brush. You could use a beauty blender if you like, or whatever your favorite foundation brush is. So I'm just going to tap it into the skin and not so much swirl it around so that it just is pressed into the skin. But make sure it is all blended as well. This isn't a step that I normally do, but you could also highlight just in between your jawline and where you applied that contour right here. So just for the sake of this video, I'm going to run a stripe here. And also on the sides of my mouth. But this step is totally optional. Like I said, I don't normally do it every day. And I'm just going to take my foundation brush again and blend that in. You could also do this step to clean up any contour that you might have brought down too far. Now I'm going to go back with the cream bronzer, dip my brush in it, and then I'm going to do the sides of my forehead. And again, I just tap it into place. And then blend it out. And you could run this along your forehead as well. Just make sure you don't bring it too much down onto your forehead to cover up that highlight. And now I'm going to do the same thing under my jawline, and I like to start it right about underneath my ear, just where my jawline starts to kind of curve upwards, and drag it along underneath to where my chin is. I also like to take the tip of the brush, so if you see it from an angle, just flip it so it's kind of facing backwards. I like to take this part and run it underneath my lip just so it looks like your lip is jutting out to make it look a little bit fuller, so you're casting a shadow underneath. And I just rub it back and forth. Obviously do the step before you apply your lipstick, but I just had it on, so we're working with it. Then what I like to do is just take my foundation brush and just blend everything together just to make sure that there are no harsh lines and everything looks nice and blended. I'm not adding any additional product, I just want to make sure that everything looks seamless and not too overdone. like to use a couple of products to cream highlight. It depends on what shade I'm looking for, but one of them is Benefit's High Beam, and I have two samples. This is Benefit's High Beam, and it's just a kind of pinky frosted shade, and it looks really nice once it's blended in. I'm going to change it up today just because I feel like I use so much golden highlighters. I'm going to use the Benefit High Beam, and I'm just going to apply it with the doe foot applicator, and I'm just going to dot it on my cheekbones. And then you can blend it in with your finger or a dual fiber brush, whatever you prefer. You could also add it to the Cupid's bow. And I'm going to use my finger to blend that all in. So those are the steps that I take when I cream contour. You can set this all with a powder just to make sure everything stays in place and lasts all day. But if you're using longer wearing formulas, then you can definitely skip that step. But I'm going to jump right into powder contouring. Now, I prefer powder contouring over cream. I don't know why, I just prefer the way that it looks. And to contour, I like to use my MAC sculpting powder. This is in the shade Sculpt, and I really like this because it has sort of a grayish look to it. It has that gray undertone, so it actually looks more of a shadow when you apply it, so it looks a little bit more natural. MAC sculpting powders come in a few different shades. I'm not sure of the exact shades, but I'll post the link to the Pro Store below where you can find them. So if you have a different undertone than I do, you can take a look and see what would work better for you. And because highlighting and contouring sort of blew up in 2014, so many companies are now coming out with palettes. Anastasia, of course, came out with her palette. Kat Von D just recently released one. NARS came out with one. I believe Smashbox did. If you're looking for cheaper alternatives, NYX is creating a highlight and contouring palette that I believe is going to be released with their spring 2015 collection. The L'Oreal True Match powders are really great for contouring. BH Cosmetics, Sleek has contouring palettes. I also just discovered City Colors, and they have some great bronzing powders that can be used to contour as well. But as I mentioned, I am going to be using the sculpting powder by MAC in Sculpt, and for the brush, I'm going to be using the same brush that I used to cream contour with. If you have a fluffy angled brush, you can definitely use this to contour with powder. I was using this fluffy brush to powder contour prior to using the Sephora one. This is a MAC 168, but there are definitely alternatives out there. Morphe makes a few contouring brushes, and you can also find some at Crown Brush. Those are definitely cheaper alternatives if you don't want to spend too much on a contouring brush. So I'm pretty much going to follow the same steps with contouring that I did with the cream. I'm just going to be placing it over. Hopefully you'll be able to see the difference in the powder product and just see how more natural this looks because of that more grayish undertone. Now to set the area of concealer that I applied to under my eye, I don't like to use this to set right underneath here. I like to use my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural for this, but to just brighten up the under eye area more so down here or just right above where my cheekbone is, I like to use the MAC powder in Emphasize. This is again a pro product, and again there are different shades that you can purchase depending on what your skin tone is. This isn't a super shimmery highlighting powder. It is pretty much just a white powder that provides a little bit of luminosity. It's not overbearing or anything. It's right there, and it kind of just provides, it doesn't even provide you that shimmer, it just brightens up the area in which you want to brighten. So I like to take that on my e.l.f. blush brush. Ooh, and that's a lot of product, so I'm just going to tap some of that off and just press it into where I applied that cream highlighter by Benefit and the Maybelline Fit Me, just to brighten up that area. Before applying my blush, I like to lay down a highlight, and for today I'm going to use MAC's Mineralized Skin Finish in Refine. And sadly it broke, and I think this is limited edition, but it's the only somewhat pinky highlight powder that I have. So I'm going to be using that on a tapered highlight brush. This is an F35 by Sigma. And I'm just going to run that right over where we put the Benefit, what I use, High Beam. And again, you can run it down your nose, on your forehead, chin, and I really like this on my Cupid's bow. Okay, so that concludes my highlighting and contouring routine using both cream and powder products. Keep in mind, you by no means need to do both. I don't do both on an everyday basis. I just wanted to show you the different types of products, some alternatives, and the different tools I like to use, whether I'm doing cream or powder highlighting and contouring. But I hope this video helped you guys out in some way. If you have any questions, leave them down below in the comment section and I'll be happy to answer them. As always, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And also follow me on social media. It's MU by Nicole Locke, just like my YouTube name. I would love to be friends with you guys. So again, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye! You can run this. These two are definitely good. Whoop. It's like a sumo bun.